Hello and welcome to the Film Pulse Podcast. This is episode number 220. My name's Adam Patterson. Joining me today, we got Kevin Rakestraw. How are you, Kevin?
I'm doing okay.
Fan-freaking-tastic. This week on the show, we'll be reviewing Zachary Treitz's Men Go to Battle. We'll also be talking about some other stuff we've been watching on the watch list, movie predictions, new on video on demand, Blu-ray releases. No news this week. There wasn't a whole lot of news coming out, so figured we'll just move into our review, if that's okay with you.
We're just sliding right into it.
Were there any pressing bits of movie news that you wanted to cover?
No, I don't think so. I think we're good.
Okay. I would suggest that any of you listening check out on the site. Kevin here did an interview with Frank Mosley, the director of Her Wilderness. Check that out.
Yeah, sure.
It's good stuff. Check out the movie too. It's on Fandor.
Yeah. Plus his debut feature and another one of his shorts, I think from like 2014, I think. 3 of them went up, man.
Oh, how about that?
Watch out.
Yeah, check that out. That's up on the site now, and you can read his review too. Now, Men Go to Battle, you also reviewed this one.
I took over the website for the weekend.
You did. I'm impressed.
Homie.
So, as I mentioned, this is directed by Zachary Treitz. It's written by Zachary Treitz and Caitlin Scheel. I have a synopsis here. Men Go to Battle is the story of two brothers struggling to hold their crumbling estate together outside a small Kentucky town in the fall of 1861. Now, since you wrote the review for this one, Kevin, I think that I will start it off. I enjoyed this one tremendously. It is a Civil War comedy, which is not something that I think I've ever seen before, and I want more of that. Because I was thinking about it as I was watching this, and I think that the Civil War could be a good theme for a comedy.
You don't think this, Civil War has been effectively mined for its comedy gold?
I don't. I really don't. And this movie is proof of that. Now, so it's a very dry comedy. Don't go into it thinking that it's going to be what's A Million Ways to Die in the West. Is that the name of the Seth
something
MacFarlane one?
Yeah.
Don't think that it's going to be that. We're not talking goof spoof here. This is a very, very kind of minimalist, dry dialogue based comedy. There's not a whole lot of laugh out loud moments, honestly, in it.
No, it's just mostly them, the two leads, just being in really awkward moments.
Yeah, and it's
just mumbling.
And that's the funny thing. There are certain things that made me laugh in this movie that weren't even necessarily jokes, but just the way that they delivered the lines.
Yes, just the way they interact with each other. The entirety of them trying to cook poultry.
Yeah, that was funny. That was funny.
And again, it's not really. They're not jokes or anything. It's just two guys like half drunk trying to cook chicken or some sort of game bird over an open fire, and they're not doing a good job. And when the one brother buys the mules and just
buys the two mules because they got a good deal on them.
Timothy Morton, who plays Henry, his reaction to the news.
Yeah. We should mention the cast here. So Timothy Morton and who's the
David Maloney plays Francis, the other brother, and those two are both from New Cops.
Yeah. So if you've seen New Cops, or if you heard us review it, or our interview with Timothy Morton, that both of those guys are from New Cops.
Yeah.
And man, they're just. I don't know if this movie would have worked if they weren't in it. Like I can't imagine this movie not existing without them, because I feel like that they were. Now, granted, so Caitlin Scheel is in this for a little bit, and Rachel Corinne is in it too, and she's pretty funny in it.
Yes.
The scene with her crying after she gets kissed is just perfect. It's just spot on. which you can see that in the trailer too, which is kind of unfortunate. The trailer for this movie it's great because it's like they kind of show it in reverse, and then they show some of the kind of the weird tone that this movie has.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, a lot of the funniest moments are in that trailer. Because my favorite moment in this whole movie is when he goes in and first talks to her in the general store, and just the awkward. Well, all right. Well, have a good day. Just that interaction I thought was so funny, and it makes me laugh every time I watch it in the trailer. But it's also kind of an interesting take on this time period, because basically what happens is it's these two brothers, they're trying to basically get by. Their land is pretty much garbage at this point. It's so overgrown, they can't keep after it, and so they try selling it, but nobody's wanting to buy it. And then there's an accident that occurs when they're getting drunk one night, which sort of causes the one brother to go enlist in the army and fight in the Civil War, but then something happens where he ends up deserting, and it's just, I don't even know how to describe this movie. What's the tone of this movie? I can't even put my finger on it.
There's an odd tone to it, because to me, number one, they do a fantastic job of capturing Civil War 1861, at least for me. I don't know what the hell 1861 looked like, but this looks pretty damn close.
Yeah.
So they do a fantastic job of that. There's the comedy. It is odd because the comedy it feels pretty modern.
It does. Because the way that they talk too feels somewhat modern.
Because it's that type of comedy that we've all come to see done over and over and over again, where it's just awkward interactions over and over and over again. People can't connect with each other. And Timothy Morton character, just ends up he just leaves. And I just love how all that transpires. He just leaves. And then
he just disappears.
And then all of a sudden it's a Civil War movie.
And they do one thing I was kind of surprised with is that they actually do show some battles.
Yes, that was one of the things going into this that I was kind of, I would say, curious to see if they would go that path, if they would go full on battle, and to see how they would capture that. Yeah. And I gotta say they do a pretty damn good job.
Yeah, there's only really one battle scene.
Yeah,
but there's kind of a montage that has some stuff in it, but then there's really just one that they kind of focus on.
Yeah, more of the focus is on the in between stuff.
Yeah,
they just march into their next spot and then
the monotony of war that you don't get to see too much. I think Jarhead was probably one of the few movies that put a focus on that.
And it's really interesting to see Timothy Morton's character, where in every situation he's just like the nicest guy, even though he's participating in the Civil War. Yeah. But just like when they robbed that guy's house, he's being like as friendly as can be. And I don't think he quite understands.
He's just kind of a guy that goes with the flow. Like, he just goes with the flow.
I think he just ran away, and he kind of just signs up for this because it was kind of like a structure for him. Mm-hmm. Like, someone was able to map out his days for him, which I guess made it easier for him. But again, I don't think he fully comprehends what's going on, or what he's in the middle of here.
No, I think when he does realize that, that's when he runs. That's when he's like, I gotta get out of here. This is craziness. And that's when he decides to, start heading home.
Yeah, because I think at the beginning, I think he just saw it as like, oh, it's a bunch of guys camping out.
Yeah,
I do this with my brother all the time. This is fun.
And clearly he didn't really have any kind of horse in the game, so to speak, because there was like that one scene when he interacted with the other soldier and was, perfectly fine.
Yeah. Even like that entire. I don't think he even thought that he could be a threat. He's just like, oh hey,
Yeah.
hi,
Yep.
what are you doing?
Hey, it's a nice little stream we got down here.
It's a nice day, isn't it? And
Yeah,
it's really interesting to consider, and this is something that I thought of, and I keep coming back to New Cops, but seeing this, having seen New Cops first, it made things funnier. Like every time I see David Maloney in this movie, all I can think of is him rapping in New Cops. So I just laugh as soon as I see him.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yeah,
he's not doing anything funny. It's just his presence is funny.
I just like their voices. Like their voices made me laugh.
Just him pointing out corn. Which I need a gif of that. Just him pointing and yelling out corn.
You probably make that happen.
I don't know where to start. I tried making a gif once.
It worked.
But you don't know that it took me 4.5 hours to do that. It's like a whole process.
Corn.
It's just such an odd little film.
It is. It is an odd little film.
It's this like very sincere character study, like nestled inside this like awkward comedy, and then just to like make it even odder, it's like, hey, let's do it in the Civil War. Why not?
Yeah, I think it's perfect that it's in the Civil War.
Because there's a large portion of this movie, like the Civil War doesn't show up for a long time,
right?
And you're just kind of like, is the Civil War actually a part of this movie? Like, I don't quite understand. Like, is there going to be Civil War bits?
Yeah.
And the way that it was handled too is because I mean, I don't know about you, but and I'm sure that you probably agree with me a little bit here. Growing up near Gettysburg.
Oh God, yeah.
Like you get sick and tired of the Civil War.
Well,
like,
yeah. Plus, my uncle's a Civil War historian, so I got a lot of that.
So you tell me Civil War. My first thought is nope. No, thank you.
Yeah,
I've walked those fields. No thanks. Remember, you do that field trip where you go and you get your little card, and someone has to carry the flag.
I was the flag carrier.
Yeah, and then they say your name. Yeah, and then you died, and you got to the closest person had to pick up the. And you do that like field trip for like 3 hours. It's just kids walking in a field
and dying.
Like what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm not a huge Civil War buff. I think it's a very interesting war. I certainly have a bigger appreciation for it now than when I did as a kid. But I guess that I think you could probably say the same thing about any type of history. But that going into it, knowing that it was a comedy taking place in the Civil War, that was what kind of intrigued me, and the fact that Tim Morton was in it. And it was written by Caitlin Sheil, and I was like, okay, I'm intrigued already. So. Yeah, no, I definitely was not let down with this one.
No, not at all.
I will say that it's not a comedy for just anyone, though. You definitely need to understand what you're getting into and know what to expect. It's not.
You have to be a fan of this type of comedy.
Yeah,
and it does another thing that because the chemistry and the interactions with Maloney and Morton, it does get a little rough when they kind of split apart. Yeah. I mean, Morton still does a fantastic job of carrying the film from that point, up until the end. But you kind of miss it because it's a lot of fun just being around those two.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And there is kind of a love story they sort of shoehorn in that I maybe wanted to see developed a little bit more, or just not in there at all. But no, I guess it was okay that it was in there. I just wanted it to be developed a little bit more because it seemed like there was sort of a love triangle happening.
Well, and I think it goes to show more of the Morton's character of Henry, where it's just like as soon as he realizes that like it's not that this situation isn't, he just leaves. You know what I mean? Like it's she starts crying. He's like, oh, he just he just leaves. He goes on, they're married. He's like, and he leaves.
Yeah.
You know, battlefield, nobody around. Yeah, I'll just leave. Just like he kind of knows. He knows like, this isn't for me. I'll just head out. And he just kind of like sneaks off.
Yeah.
It's just kind of funny because it reminded me of me how I'd just leave.
Oh, it definitely reminded me of you.
Where
That's exactly what you do.
I don't say bye or anything. I just leave.
Where'd Kevin go? Wait a minute. He was just here. What happened to him? His car's gone.
It's so much easier to just leave instead of like, verbalizing.
I've done it before. I know. I totally understand.
But I do understand being, thinking about the other side of that of like, holy shit, he just disappeared. Like, is he okay?
Yeah, I've definitely been there before. So, Men Go to Battle. Definitely recommending this one. For people that like slow-paced, very dry comedies. If you're into that type of thing, if you're into the whole mumblecore thing, then yes, I think you should definitely check out Men Go to Battle.
And this is like the purest like mumblecore. Like I've never really understood. I still don't really know what the hell a mumblecore movie is.
I don't really either.
But while watching this one, I was thinking like, yeah, they mumble a lot. So this is
they literally, there's a lot of actual mumbling in this. So
this is like pure mumblecore, I guess. But I don't know if that's like is that the defining element of mumblecore movie? I would imagine because it's in the title. You would have to.
Yeah, I guess. I
don't know.
But I don't know either. This is playing in select cities right now. I do not think this is on VOD. I think it's only in theaters right now, unfortunately. But I feel like this is one that could easily pop up on VOD in the near future. It's probably got one of those short run in limited release and then plop it on VOD.
Yeah.
I don't know who released this.
Film Movement.
Oh, Film Movement. Yeah. That's funny. It doesn't even say that on IMDb.
Oh, really?
No, they're not even listed. All right, that's Men Go to Battle. Kevin, I think you gave this an 8 out of 10 on the site. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I'm going to give this one a 7.5.
Nice.
Yep. Solid movie. Check it out. Probably one of my top 10s so far this year.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and look at the list, but it's definitely up there because I had a lot of fun with this one.
I did as well. It's definitely top 10 for me for right now, I would say.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll stay that up there, but yeah, definitely check it out. All right, let's talk about some of what we've been watching on the watch list. Kevin, I think it's your turn to start it this week.
Oh shit!
What have you been watching?
Oh well, since you asked, I watched The Little Girl Who Sold the Sun from 1999. This is a Jabril Diop-Mambate movie. This is my first of his. And it's one of those like in-betweeners. It's 45 minutes. So it's kind of like a short feature, I guess. I don't know. But holy shit, this movie is it's so nice. It's just a nice uplifting movie. It's about this little girl in Senegal who she has like crutches. She has physical handicap with her leg and everything. And she spends her day like with her blind grandma just begging on the streets. And then she sees like all these little kids selling newspapers. And when they sell newspaper, they just like run up. It's like 10 kids. And you were talking like 8 years old, 9 years old. They just run up and they just harass people and try to get them to buy newspapers. I mean, just run right, just start grabbing at their shirt and stuff and taking the hat and everything. So she decides that she's going to sell newspapers, which, girls don't normally do in Senegal. So she goes, gets some newspapers, and there's this one guy that kind of helps her out, and then she is fucking killing it in the newspaper game, just selling newspapers left and right, and it's so happy, which is just really, really nice to have a movie like that.
This was his last film.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, he died in 1998. Oh.
I mean, it does feel like there's a little bit of a subtext here because she sells the government paper the guy that helps her out sells the People's paper,
Mm-hmm. Mm.
and she's extremely successful. People are always buying her papers and stuff. I mean, the first time that she goes out, a guy just comes up and he's like, "I'll buy all your papers," and just gives her money, and then she's done for the day. And like all the other kids are pissed off, and you kind of got to wonder a little bit if she's kind of making this based off of like sympathy and pity. Plus, also the fact that she's not badgering people and harassing them because she can't. She has to like sit off to the side with just like the papers in her lap, and
Right.
people come up to her. So that's kind of helping her out.
Okay. And what was the name of that again? Sorry.
The Little Girl Who Sold the Sun. This is on Fandor.
Okay. Check it out on Fandor. I saw 0 Days. This is the new Alex Gibney documentary.
Ooh.
It's about the Stuxnet virus
Oh boy.
and cyber warfare.
Hmm.
I like Alex Gibney. I think he's like the master of the talking head documentary. I think that he has it down to a science at this point. Because he comes out like 5 movies a year. The dude is just the hardest working documentarian, I think, in the business right now. But they're all really good. Like he consistently makes good documentaries, and they're not anything flashy. They don't do anything crazy, but they are extremely informative, and they're really, really impeccably structured. Like, this is a pretty dense topic, so it doesn't just cover the Stuxnet virus, which in and of itself is a pretty massive story and a really interesting one. But he has to, in order to like put this whole thing into context, you have to learn something about our relationship with Iran and our relationship with Israel, and then like the conflict that's happening between Iran and Israel, and where we were at like in 2007, 2006, like that time period. So there's a lot of history you have to kind of understand before fully grasping what this specific virus was all about. And basically, if you're not familiar, the Stuxnet virus was a computer virus that was meant to target uranium enrichment facilities. Okay, I believe is what they would. It's basically the facilities used to enrich uranium in order to make nuclear weapons. So we knew that Iran was making these factories to enrich this uranium, and this virus appeared. And the more that researchers looked into what this, because they didn't know what it was or what it did at first, and the more they kind of broke down the code, they learned like, okay, this is a highly sophisticated virus that is used to basically destroy the turbines that are enriching the uranium, so that they basically explode. And it was sort of designed to set their end date back, to slow them down in their process of making nuclear weapons. And all of this information is still very highly classified to this day in the US. Nobody wants to talk about it. And that's kind of one of the big things that the film discusses, is that a lot of the people that he interviews, like former NSA people and stuff like that, they cannot talk about it because it's still classified. And what the kind of crux of the whole movie is there's this cyber war that's happening all kind of covertly throughout nation states. And it's something that if it doesn't eventually get discussed and kind of be brought out in the open, that we could be in some serious trouble, because there's no regulations, there's no like law against what's happening here, and eventually something really terrible is going to happen, and nobody's going to even know what's going on. Like, nobody can prepare for it.
Oh, jeez.
And so it's a scary documentary, yeah, but at the same time, it's really, really fascinating to learn how this virus came to be and how it infiltrated this plant, which was air gapped, meaning that it was cut off from the internet. So like they had to figure out a way to get it in there without having direct access through the internet. So the some of the methods that they came up with were really ingenious, and some of the things that this thing did were like pretty incredible. But either way, it's a very interesting documentary, and I would definitely recommend checking it out. It's called 0 Days, and I believe it is on VOD. We're all screwed, by the way.
I was gonna say it's terrifying.
Yeah,
absolutely. If you watch 0 Days, this is what you should do. If you're gonna go ahead, I'm speaking to like listeners here. If you go out and you watch yourself some 0 Days, then watch the little girl who sold the sun. Brighten your day up a little bit.
There you go. There was one other quick thing about this movie that I'd just like to mention. There was one person that he interviewed who was actively in the NSA and was willing to divulge details. And the way that he hid the person's identity was that he hired an actress to play the person, and
nice.
But then he altered the actress's voice and then added this like kind of like graphical distortion it was pretty cool looking, and it was kind of an interesting way that he was able to get around like making sure that this person stays completely anonymous.
Yeah.
But then like he revealed at the very end that it wasn't just one person, that it was a whole slew of people that were willing to divulge this highly classified information for the sake of transparency, but they didn't want like anything, like their name, their likeness, like nothing.
Oh shit.
So he kind of compiled this testimony together and had one actress.
One actress.
Yeah. So it was kind of an interesting way to deliver that information.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I watched Fear City from 1984. Abel Ferrara. This is on movie.
I never saw this one.
I never did either, and I'm like, Abel Ferrara. And this is Tom Berenger, right? Like, I didn't really realize that Tom Berenger was like a legit actor.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that. So that's what led me to watch this, because it's Ferrara Berenger action. Okay. It's sleazy New York City. 1984.
That's what Ferrara does.
Oh my god, it's so sleazy. Like the whole opening to this is just because it's centered around strippers, so it's complete sleaze. And so what's happening here is you got Tom Berenger and his buddy. They run this service where they're kind of like the agents for all these strippers, and they set up they set up all the schedules for these exotic dancers. Book them at different clubs and stuff, and then they got to recoup their money and everything. So they're on top of stuff. But what's happening here is there's a crazy white guy who's really into martial arts that's tracking down strippers and fucking them up with all sorts of blades. Okay? He starts out with scissors, right? And he's just a little stabby, cutting fingers off. Not that big of a deal. I mean, it's kind of a big deal because fingers are important, but where he takes it to, he starts out small. Okay. Next thing you know, actually one time he uses nunchucks, which is kind of funny. I've never seen someone actually like use nunchucks to fuck someone up. It seems really bizarre to do that. But then he graduates to, he just pops around a corner one time with a samurai sword, and just samurai sword to a person just in the middle of New York City. And the interesting thing about this movie is Ferrer spends so much time showing this guy, like, who the serial killer is, like, right off the bat, because he's in this like empty loft apartment that's like his dojo type thing, and he's always doing martial arts. And I mean, he's really into his martial arts. I mean, he is like super flexing the entire time. He's doing his shit all the time. And even when he's out on the street, like attacking, like he still wears the whole getup, which I found odd. Like he still has the headband, like the black belt headband in like his karate outfit, which you would think that you would maybe dress down so people wouldn't notice you. But I guess if you have a samurai sword, it doesn't really matter. So all this time spent with this guy doing his martial arts. So comes down to the end. Big show off between Tom Berenger, who plays an ex-boxer, by the way, versus this white guy doing his martial arts stuff. And Tom Berenger just beats the shit out of him. And he doesn't even have like great form. Like his boxing skills aren't that great. He just kicks the shit out of him. Which is funny because like earlier on, the guy does like a drop kick to his buddy, to Behringer's buddy, drop kicks him in the face, puts him in a fucking coma, right? Just one single drop kick puts him in a coma, and he can't fuck up Tom Berenger in a back alley? Like, give me a break. I did not like this movie, by the way. It's awful. Like, the music sucks. Like, the cinematography, I'm not a fan of. The acting, I'm not a fan of. The story, I'm not a fan of. I'm just not really a fan of anything.
Ferrara, do you?
I do like. There's no middle with him. It seems like I either really love his movies or I absolutely hate them.
All the ones that I like, you probably wouldn't like. I guess. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of his, but admittedly, I have not seen. I haven't even seen half of his filmography.
I haven't seen that much either, but I'm always interested. Even though that I have that, like, I'm either gonna love it or I'm gonna hate it. I'm still a figure like, hey, but Ferrara movie, I'm like, oh, awesome.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes sometimes you're just in the mood for some sleaze.
Well, yeah.
And Ferrara, he does
sleaze well. I'll give him that.
You know you're gonna get sleaze.
He is quite good at that.
You should check out Ms. 45.
I do want to see that one.
I'll be curious to see what you think of that one, because that was the one right before Fear City, I think. Maybe.
I'll check that one out.
Yeah. So next week we're going to be covering the Japan Cuts Film Festival that's happening here in New York City. One of the ones that I saw in preparation for that is a documentary that's going to be premiering there called how do you say his name?
I have no idea.
Sion Sono. I'm a big fan of this director. I think, well, we'll get into it, I guess, with The Whispering Star next week. We're gonna be reviewing that one for sure, because I saw that this week as well, and it's pretty incredible. But it's a documentary about Sion Sono, who, if you're not familiar with his filmography, he directed Why Don't You Play in Hell? He did Tokyo Tribe, both of which we reviewed on this show. He did Suicide Club, aka Suicide Circle, which I freaking loved. Still probably one of my favorite movies of his.
Yes.
I just think that movie's so incredible.
I remember, because I used to watch that movie so much, and actually my stepdad watched it with me. And wow, talk about an experience. That was fun.
I remember I had because it wasn't released in America. They did not release this movie in America. It is now, but it wasn't back then. And I remember the copy I had? It was like a legit copy, I think, but it looked completely bootleg in every way. It was.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a
really
copy.
Weird.
I don't know if it was a legit copy, dude.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe it wasn't. Because I remember because the disc looked really weird. It looked like it was some kind of some dude just printed out the label for the disc. It was a weird copy. But I love that movie, and Cold Fish was great. Norco's Dinner Table was okay. And then he did Hair Extensions too, which was creepy as all get out. Anyway, this documentary just kind of chronicles the life of him, and it follows him last year. And so in 2015, he released 5 movies last year, feature length.
Damn.
And so the documentary just follows him while he's preparing, shooting, making these movies. And the documentary sort of like that Nicholas Winding Refn documentary that came out I think it was like last year, where it doesn't really go over too much of like his filmography as much as it just follows him. It just follows him around in this time period.
Yeah.
In this period of his life. And I didn't know it, but he's in a band too. He's in a rock group, and he is an artist. Like, he paints.
Jesus Christ.
So he is and the dude just never, it's like he's never not working. It's crazy. He is, they call him the hardest working director in Japan, and
it sounds like it.
I at this point I'd believe it. I used to think the Miike was pretty crazy when it came to releasing tons of movies, but I think Sono may have him beat, because he just it was funny, he in one part of the movie he gets an award, and during his speech he said, he goes, "My motto is quantity over quality." He's like, because if you just throw everything out there, eventually something's gonna stick. And that's kind of just what it is. I mean, he just and like all of his movies are wildly different too.
They
Like
sure are.
wildly different. Like he's not. It's impossible to like shoehorn this guy into something. Like he made a lot of horror movies, but he likes to kind of travel outside of that too. And I think that when we discuss Whispering Star, you'll find that that's definitely not anything like any of his other movies. But the documentary itself was not great. It was just, I don't know, it was actually kind of boring in a way. There were large chunks that, like, it wasn't very well, like, put together. Like, the titles and transitions looked kind of cheesy, and large portions of the film were dedicated to him just, like, painting. And, you know, it was kind of interesting to see his method at first, but they lingered on it for way too long. And most of the movie is just him getting drunk and like talking about like his method and stuff, like his craft. He admits to being an alcoholic too, so he's like drunk throughout most of everything. They do interview some of the actors that he worked with, and that was also interesting because they would talk about like the audition process and how he showed up drunk like 25 minutes late, and it's just kind of just funny little anecdotes about him. He's definitely an interesting guy. The documentary itself, wasn't too into it.
He sounds like he could be my hero.
He's pretty great, and his movies, like, I will just automatically see any of his movies.
Well, yeah.
I don't even need to know what they're about. I'll watch them.
You never know what you're gonna get. He's always interesting. You at least guy. I mean, his movies aren't boring.
There's one scene where he like rushes home one night, and he goes in and he sits down and he grabs a pad of paper and he just storyboards for like 20 minutes and just like just crazy, frantically storyboarding. And when you see the end result, you're just like, holy crap, this guy's a genius. Like he basically just storyboarded an entire movie in like 20 minutes, and he knew every shot, every angle, every frame, and he just has all this stuff in his head. It's like he's just this endless idea factory.
He's a machine.
He is a machine.
I mean, has anyone proved that he's not a machine? Because he could.
That's a good question.
He could be a machine.
I don't know.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it's a machine.
And the thing is, like, the whole quantity over quality thing, it's like his movies are quality though. Like he's probably one of the few people that can crap out 5 feature films in a year, and they're all, I mean, I haven't seen all of them, but they're probably all good.
Yeah.
He just has a very unique vision, and all his movies are completely unique. Like, it's not like he's Nicholas Sparks and he puts out the same movie every year. You know, all of his movies are just so unique.
Without a doubt.
But at any rate, the documentary is called The Sion Sono. So if you're really into his movies, maybe give it a look. And
I think that's the one too that's directed by Oshima's son.
Oh, really?
The great Oshima.
Interesting.
Yeah. I watched Real Life from 1979. This is an Albert Brooks comedy.
This is it's like a mockumentary, right?
A little bit. This is on it's on Netflix right now, on the instant there.
I've been trying to see this for so long. This was so hard to find.
Jump on Netflix tonight, tomorrow, whenever you get time, and watch this thing, because oh my god, is it amazing.
I've seen this movie before when I was younger, and like maybe 2 years ago, I was scouring the internet looking for this thing because I've been meaning to rewatch it because I remember it being so funny. And it's like somebody making a documentary about like
it's Albert
family,
Brooks,
right?
It's Albert Brooks playing Albert Brooks.
Yeah, and he's making a documentary about like the family, modern family, right?
Because this is all coming off the heels of the PBS, the Cinema Verte that came out. I forget what it was called, like An American Family or something along those lines. They kind of like revolutionized everything, and so he decides to do the same thing in the film, and he's like, I'm going to spend a year with this family and just capture everything. And his only direction is be yourselves. So there's this like whole introduction of like how they pick the family, because he uses like all these scientists and behavioral specialists, and they have all these tests to come up with the family, who is, it's, the family's not like an actual, it's, the dad's Charles Grodin, it's a fake family. But anyways, he moves in across the street, and he's not supposed to like interact with the family too much. He can't alter the reality. He just wants to capture real life. But he's extremely self-centered and narcissistic, and he is just constantly in their lives, and everything goes to hell. And it is so damn funny to watch. There is one scene in particular which Charles Grodin plays. He's a veterinarian, and there's this whole thing where he has to do open heart surgery on a horse, and they're super psyched because it's going to be a great moment for the film. There's this long buildup of them prepping the horse, getting everything ready, and just the entire buildup to what is the punchline at the end of the scene, and just Grodin's reaction to what happens. It's fantastic. And then the ending as well is just, kind of comes out of nowhere, because Brooks just kind of loses his mind, and it's just, oh man, it's something else.
Yeah,
and even considering nowadays too, like this is 1979, but a lot of the stuff that he's touching on, it's really relevant.
Yeah, this was when he was working with SNL. I don't know if you remember, but in the early days of SNL, he would make short films for Saturday Night Live. And I think that this was, I don't know if this was before or after he was doing those. I'm guessing, I don't know. But I remember all of his short films that premiered on SNL were hilarious.
Yes, they were good. I kind of forgot about those. This is, he wrote this along with Monica McGowan Johnson and Harry Shearer.
Okay. And that's when, and Harry Shearer was on SNL during, actually no, I think he was on later, now that I think about it. Either way, same crew.
Oh, it's so great.
That's great. I'm going to watch that tonight. I can't wait.
It's all about, that's why we do this show.
The only other one that I saw was The Whispering Star, so I'm going to save my thoughts on that until next week when we do a full review on it. But I'll say it is a black and white science fiction movie about an android delivery person who delivers packages throughout the galaxy.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
And it is... What did somebody say? Hold on. It was, what did they say? They said it was like the sci-fi version of Gene Dealman. And when you see it, you'll realize, like, yeah, that's pretty much what this is. Like, it is slow. Nothing. A lot happens, but nothing happens. It's one of those things.
Nice.
Where it's... But I will say that this is probably Sono's most beautiful film, but that's all I'll say. I don't want to give too many of my thoughts away just yet.
Well, you sold it.
Oh yeah, as soon as I saw it, I was like, this has to be one that we cover. Like, this is right up both of our alleys.
Nice. I only saw one other, and that is on Amazon. I picked up the old Midnight Special. Jeff Nichols.
Jeff Nichols.
With that Michael Shannon action. Joe Edgerton. Kirsten Dunst. Who, all the performances are pretty solid. But Kirsten Dunst kills it in this movie. She does a fantastic job.
I like Joel Edgerton a lot in this.
Yeah, he was good too. You saw this?
Yeah, I saw it in the theater.
Oh.
I talked about it.
I don't remember. We talked about so many movies.
I know.
He was good in this. I wish I saw this in the movie theater. I gotta be honest. Within like the first 10 minutes of this thing, I was just like, damn it, this is a theater movie.
Yeah.
It's, and I was hooked from the get-go. I'm not gonna lie. I was just immediately hooked. How they just like kind of throw you right in the middle. Nichols doesn't really give too much away. It kind of gives you information here and there throughout, but he never fully disseminates like what's actually like what the kid's power is. And maybe you can help me with this because I was thinking this is kind of like your turbine situation that you had earlier. That the kid has the eye thing going on, and it shuts down cars and electric and all that stuff. What are those called? There's kinds of attacks.
EMPs?
EMPs, yes. Oh my god, I spent last night for like 4 hours trying to figure out that acronym.
I think the word I was thinking of was centrifuge.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think that's what they are. They're centrifuges.
Or turbines. I mean, you could go with either one, really.
Yeah.
I'm just really happy that we figured out what we were looking for. What a great day.
Today was a full success.
We nailed it. Just for us. I mean, this show is just for us, really.
Yeah, it is.
And I thought the effects were great as well. Just the little touches here and there. His powers and that when he's thrown up on the side of the highway, how everything kind of dies around him, radiates outward. There's always like a mystery to it throughout. It's just cryptic enough where you're not quite sure what the hell's going to happen. So I couldn't wait till the end to figure out what is this? Like, what is this power? What's the point? What is happening here? And even though I wasn't 100% on board with the ending, I think the execution of it alone kind of made up for it.
It's one of those movies where no matter the intrigue and the build-up is at such a high level that almost anything they reveal would be a letdown because you want to keep that intrigue and that build-up. You want to keep it going. So when they finally do reveal, the end game, when they go to the place that they're going to, it's like, oh, okay. But I agree with you. I think that because they almost save, it's like they save their effects budget for that last bit, and you're just like, whoa. Like, I thought that looked really good.
Yeah, it does. It looks fantastic. And just everything that happens in that. And you're kind of right. It does feel, because the build-up is so, the way in which he does it, I think is so well done that you're right. I think I would be kind of let down with whatever it, would end up being. But even then, I'm happy enough that he gave you a glimpse of what it is, but he still didn't really explain a whole lot.
There's still a lot of mysteries.
Yeah, I mean, like, almost everything is a mystery, really.
Yep. Definitely has a little bit of an Amblin vibe, a little bit of an E.T. vibe to it.
Yeah, a little bit. I would agree with that.
And I liked all of that stuff. I think that some people going into this thinking that it's going to be some kind of like superhero comic book movie are going to be, sorely mistaken.
Yes, but there's just some really great moments like that down satellite.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that caught me off guard.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh shit, yes.
Yeah, I like this movie a lot.
I was pleasantly surprised.
I think Jeff Nichols is pretty great. I could see him. I could see like the big studios looking at this movie and picking him up to do something, like a Marvel movie or something.
But don't just keep giving him money to do what he wants to do. Except unless it's like something like Mud, then don't give him money for that.
I like Mud. I don't know. Does he have a new movie lined up? I don't even.
Yeah. It just played festivals too. Loving.
Oh, Loving. Yeah. You're right. That's the one with the girl from Preachers in it, Ruth Negga, and Joel Edgerton.
Oh yeah. That's right. Nice.
That's probably good. That one's I think a lot more low key, but still, Midnight Special. Definitely check that out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's talk about some predictions. Last week, The Secret Life of Pets. You said 78, I said 82, actual 75, which is interesting because I only read like maybe 3 or 4 little reviews about this, and the ones that I read were pretty negative. Yeah, so
I didn't hear anything about this movie.
Yeah. I was mildly interested. The trailers looked decent, but it was definitely one that I was planning on waiting for the old VOD or Netflix release. Mike and Dave need wedding dates. You said 58. I said 62. Actual 42.
Mm-hmm.
That's a double win for you.
Nice.
Next week, got a big one here. Controversial one. Ghostbusters.
Oh, Jesus.
Women are in. The Ghostbusters, they're ruining the franchise. It's ruined, Kevin. I don't get that whole thing. Like, this isn't, from what I understand, this is not a sequel. This is a complete remake / reboot. So
I'll tell you right now.
It's separate. It's completely separate.
Yeah. And what like I would like the next Ghostbusters, because I hope this movie makes a shit ton of money. And then the next Ghostbusters, that money's gonna lure in Bill Murray and them. And what it turns out to be is it's another department of ghostbusting. They branched out, and then the next one is them and the original tackling some huge problem that's just taking over the world.
That'd be cool. I would love that. I would, especially if Moranis came back.
Oh my god, anything to get Moranis back.
From what I understand, he wasn't even approached about doing like a cameo or anything in this one.
That's understandable. I would be intimidated to approach him.
Yeah, I think so.
But I tell you right now, like, you can't ruin something. If you put Kate McKinnon and Leslie Jones in something, like, it's impossible to ruin it.
I mean, so far, early reviews for this have started trickling out, and it's got a 75 on Rotten Tomatoes, I want to say. What does it have right now? 74. So it's so far so good. I heard it's pretty decent. I'm gonna go see it because it looks funny to me, and
yes, I'm gonna see it. It's like a number of my favorite people right now.
Yeah. So what are you thinking on Ghostbusters?
Ghostbusters, I'm gonna say 80.
Okay, I'll say 76. I'm thinking that score is gonna go up a little bit. The Infiltrator, that's with Bryan Cranston. I actually know nothing about this movie.
I had never even heard of it.
Yeah, I started. I got some emails about it, but for some reason I just kind of glossed over them.
I'm kind of doing that anytime now. If it says based on a true story,
yeah,
I'm just like, nope. Like, that's my new
U.S. Custom Agent Robert Bob Mazur goes deep undercover to infiltrate Pablo Escobar's blood-soaked drug trafficking scene plaguing the nation in 1985 by posing as the slick money-laundering businessman Bob Mazzola. Woo!
Wait, he just posed as a guy named Bob Mazur? Like, he didn't change his name.
I feel like if you want to know more about that, you should just check out the Netflix series, that Narco. Is it Narco or Narcos?
I heard like any of the other things that deal with
that
Pablo
Netflix
Escobar.
series, which is about Pablo Escobar, is tremendous, and I think that one is really going for realism. Like they try to be 100% historically accurate with that show. They even splice in like actual footage and stuff like that.
Nice.
So I would probably just say go check out that instead of this infiltrator business that doesn't look very good. I'll say 42 on that one.
I'll say 56.
All right. And limited release next week, we have Cafe Society. That's the new Woody Allen film that I'm interested in. Takes place in Hollywood and New York in the 1930s. And we have Jesse Eisenberg doing his Woody Allen character again.
Watch out.
I think he is a really good pick for the Woody Allen character.
Yes.
So yeah, definitely interested in that one. A lot of people in it, and that's Woody Allen. He comes out with a movie every year pretty much, and I'm only interested in maybe one out of every 3, and this is one that definitely has me interested. We also have Equals. Don't know too much about that one. It's with Kristen Stewart, I believe.
Yeah, and Nicholas Hoult.
Oh yeah, Nicholas Hoult. Yeah, it's like a love story.
Yeah, it's like
sci-fi love story.
Future devoid of emotions.
Yeah, it looks like kind of like Gattaca mixed with like Equilibrium.
Oh shit!
Equilibrium. We also have Outlaws and Angels. It's the Western with Luke Wilson, Chad Michael Murray.
Oh, watch out!
Don't know what to think about this one. It's probably bad.
It's bad. I'll just tell you now.
Looks not great.
No.
That's pretty much it. Not a whole lot coming out next week. Let's see what's coming out on VOD. So we have Tuesday, July 12th, Love Between the Covers and All Girls Weekend. I know nothing about either of those. And then Friday, July 15th, we have Outlaws and Angels and Lucha Mexico, which is, I believe, a documentary about Mexican wrestling.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. On Blu-ray next week, this is for July 12th. Not a whole lot coming out. We got Green Room, which I would recommend checking out. Allegiant, which is the latest Divergent series movie that got crushed by critics. Everybody Wants Some, which is the Richard Linklater one that I highly recommend. As of now, I believe Green Room is number 1 on my top 10, and Everybody Wants Some is number 2. So
damn, we're like the complete opposite people.
What does that mean?
It's fun because Green Room is not anywhere like our 1-2 are so completely different.
Oh.
You know what I mean? We got that.
Have you seen You didn't see Everybody Wants Some yet, though.
No, I haven't. But
I mean, I know it's not going to go as your number 2.
Do you think I'm going to like it?
No,
what do you think?
Probably not. I mean, I think you'll watch it. I think you'll give it a shot, but I think you're going to come away not liking it very much.
Do you think I'll like it more than Boyhood?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. All right.
I think you will. I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll find it entertaining. I think you'll find it funny, because it is funny. So I guess next week Universal is going to be releasing this new series of Blu-rays called Pop Art, which are basically re-releases of a bunch of their films on Blu-rays with cool covers, like pop art covers. So they have like Psycho, Scarface, National Lampoon's Animal House, American Graffiti, Dazed and Confused. Really cool cover for Dazed and Confused. A whole bunch of others too, like a slew. Big Lebowski, Weird Science, Wet Hot American Summer, Apollo 13, 16 Candles, The Birds, Lucy for some reason.
Lord.
Yeah, the Lucy cover is really cool too. I wasn't big on that movie, but
It's ridiculous.
And the 2005 Pride and Prejudice. That's interesting. And The Breakfast Club. So, if you haven't picked any of those up on Blu-ray yet, you might want to check out these pop art releases because they look pretty cool. What else? That's pretty much it. The Road Games movie that came out last year is coming out, but it's not. Again, I will say it's not the Australian one. It's not even a remake of the Australian one. It's not very good.
Who cares?
Yeah, that's it, I guess. Anything on the Criterion front next week?
We have one Criterion. It's from 1962. That is Herc Harvey's Carnival of Souls.
I've never seen this.
Me either. I've been wanting to watch this thing for ages.
I know. Yeah, it's definitely been on my list of shame. This
is like one of the original Criterions too. Like I remember back when we first discovered Criterion.
Mm-hmm.
This was one of their titles.
I remember back in the day, I was thinking to myself, I'm going to collect all the Criterions. I'm glad I didn't. Because there's like 800 of them now.
Yes.
I'm just so glad.
You would have started with DVDs.
Exactly.
And you would have been in that predicament where it's like, shit, do I get the Blu-ray now?
I had a ton of Criterion DVDs.
I did too. I've sold so many of those.
Yeah, I got rid of all my DVDs after I got a Blu-ray player.
I kept the good ones. I kept the nuggets.
Maybe I still have some. I probably still have Rushmore and Royal Tenenbaums.
So, just a heads up. Carnival of Souls. Young woman in small town Kansas survives a drag race accident. Sold. Then agrees to take a job as a church organist in Salt Lake City. Sold. En route, she is haunted by a bizarre apparition that compels her towards an abandoned lakeside pavilion. sold. This just sounds ridiculous.
It sounds awesome.
It does.
Another one that's getting released on Blu-ray next week is Belladonna of Sadness. That's that's one of these ones that was like remastered. Cinelicious remastered it, and they re-released it. It actually played in theaters here. Might still be playing. And then Blood and Black Lace is getting a steelbook release, which looks awesome.
Oh my god, I've been waiting for that Belladonna Sadness. You see the artwork on that thing?
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
It's very 70s.
Goodness.
The artwork is very 70s.
Hand-drawn psychedelic, give it to me.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's right up your alley.
I did hear that it's pretty much centered on rape, though. So
nah, I don't like
I think
that.
that's gonna test my appreciation for hand-drawn animation.
All right, well, I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @FilmPulseNet and @FilmPulseKevin. And if you have a minute, take a look at our Patreon page, patreon.com/FilmPulse, and consider helping us out by becoming a subscriber. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.